Yeah. Late okay at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people, today? Oh yeah, coming with another wonderful episode of On Screen. Tonight we're catching up before tomorrow's new episode. It's bittersweet because we know that we're not going to get any more after this season, but of course we're here to throw some love on Swamp Thing. Now, before we get started, of course, I'm joined to my left by the awesome, the amazing, the esteemed colleague, NERDSoul. Like, what's up, everybody? How's it going? I'm just chilling. And before we get started, I do want to give a shout out to Ephraim Guzman of the Atomic Podcast. My interview with him, that's right, hi. My interview with him is online right now, so you can check out the Atomic Podcast. So on SoundCloud and some other stuff too. Don't trip. You can find it. DA Atomic Podcast. So it's not it's DA and then Atomic Podcast for the rest of it. Then also want to give a shout out to my Patreon supporters. We got Bam. That's right. Enrique Carry-On with Phenomic. Check out that webcomic. It's super dope. Then you got Tim I Hold Me Down. And of course, Thought Crimes. Big shout to them. Last shout out that I got to give is to a shout out to Arcatron. Him and myself will be going out to Vegas. We are asking for your help with our GoFundMe, which is Violator20. That's right. GoFundMe.com/Violator20. Give $1, give $2, put it in a bucket. Help us get out there, document some dope hip hop, and come back with tons of videos for you guys. So, slid down the way. So how you feeling? How you feeling about the episode? Let me know. Let me know what you're thinking, because I like how we got to get a chance to get inside the mind of Swamp Thing / Alec for just a second at the beginning of the episode. I really dug how, we see that he's having this turmoil, this kind of back and forth about realizing who he is, what he is, where he is, and why he is, or all that. And he's still going through those motions, kind of like Susie was saying in this episode, trying, he needs help to, figure out what's going on with him. And I really dug that. They could have just gave us they could have just sped past it and been like, look, here's the action, here's how it goes, people get beat up, all that good stuff. But they're working hard on giving us a chance to figure out who Alec was, who Alec is now with, that's right, who Alec is now with the newfound responsibilities of course, being Swamp Thing. So who he is inside, I guess we can't really say the suit, but you know what I mean. Who he is as this entity now, you know what I'm saying? Because he's still alive, but he's definitely changed. He's transformed. He's different. And I like that about this. See, that's right. Give me five on that. That's right. So with that, yeah. So, and that's what we're saying. Like, Swamp Thing is dope like that. So I wanted to talk real quick about Liz. Liz is an intrepid little reporter. I was dogging her out when I was on the video with CKR. I was like, how much, investigating she really gonna do? But apparently she kind of gets down to the nitty gritty, and people know her. Like, when they see her coming, when old boy saw her coming, he was ducking and diving. Homie was like, look, I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to talk with you. Like, I just work at the bank. I don't want no problems. And she like, hey, I see you. I know something's going on. I don't know what's going on, but I know something's going on. And with that something, you gonna tell me, because it's you and Avery, something ain't right. And I like that we have someone who is in this role of continuing the pressure of the plot, besides just Abby or Alec. Liz is continually pushing, what's going on, what's happening, why is this doing it, who are you working with, what's going on, and even to the point where she comes to old boy's house in the middle of the night. Like, she is not playing, son. Well, it might not have been middle of the night, it's TV time, so you don't really know what time it was. It was just sundown. It could have been 8 p.m. But I'm saying middle of the night because Avery snuck up in there, which we're gonna talk about in a second. But that's right. That's what dude was saying when he got smacked up and left up in that shower, boy. because it won't good. But she's willing to break down doors, not knock on anyone's front doorstep, go to anyone's office. She ain't scared. And that's one thing that I like about it. I like Liz. She's like, look, I'm going to get this story. Now, hopefully it don't end her up dead. Because Avery doesn't, after this episode, we see that Avery definitely doesn't have a problem with making sure people can't breathe anymore. See what I'm saying? He is not going to be okay. So with that said, we got Avery, Maria, but we also got what's her name? Lucia. I think it's Lucilia. Apparently back in the day, he was hollering at her. You know what I'm saying? He was hitting it back in the day, and that was his old flame. And I was thinking it was like, were you thinking it was weird when she showed up at the house all late and he's offering her a drink? I'm like, she is an officer of the law, all right? You don't be getting them drunk. What's wrong with you? Until we found out, you used to wine and dine her back in them days. You know what I'm saying? Back before Maria. And then even I love her line when she said something to the extent of like, I'm always beautiful when Maria is shutting you out or something like that. So I thought that was a nice pick. But Avery and Maria are going to, in my estimation, going to come to a crazy crossroads when it comes to Shauna. Avery, I believe, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do think that Avery has mourned her. It's his daughter. She's dead, so I'm sure he had some feelings about it. But I think that her not letting it go is going to continue to be a wedge between both of them, on top of the money, because now we know the money is funny because old boy came to his house and Avery was like, don't you never come to my house. Don't you come to my house unless I call you. You know what I'm saying? Got telling everybody, got people knowing what's going on in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Don't be, there ain't gonna be none of that. You stay at your house and I'm gonna stay at my house. You know what I'm saying? But he's trying to butter her up. And she's like, you just want my family's money. And apparently he maybe, Maria, she had that cheese back in the day. Her family got money. And he was just a slick talker. And you know what I'm saying? Probably threw the Mac down on her. And now he got access to it. I don't see them. I see them coming. I see them butting heads really soon. We saw just a bit of it this episode, but I think the fact that the money is not looking good, the fact that we have a dead body on our hands now, and also the fact that Shauna and her ghost is playing a role in some way, shape, or form, I definitely think that we're in for some troublesome times in the Avery household. You know what I'm saying? Even though that's not their last name, but you know what I mean. It's going to be some troubling times in it. What do you think? How do you think Shauna ties in to this season? Because I'm wondering what her connection might be to the swamp, what her connection might be to the insects that we saw, that we're going to talk about the bugs in a little bit. But I wonder how she's going to play into this whole Swamp Thing issue, and if her and Swamp Thing will have a problem with each other, if her and Madame Xanadu will have a problem with each other later on, or if it will be an issue where it's just something plaguing Maria's mind. Because that's a possibility too, where it might just be, this is a cross for her to bear, and nobody else really has to deal with it. Next up, we got NERDSoul like just chilling. Let's talk about them bugs. At first, I thought that the green was controlling the bugs, and let me know if I'm off base. Do you think the bugs were being controlled by someone else or something else? Because at first I was thinking it was the green, aka Swamp Thing, together the green, they were controlling the bugs. But the bugs reanimated the dead corpse that ended up attacking Abby, and we know Swamp Thing ain't having that, and then also ended up attacking him later on. So another question is, who the bugs, who control the bugs, and even though they have control over the bugs, apparently they don't supersede the Green or Swamp Thing's power, because when he said release him, or I think he said release him or release us or something like that, the bugs just did, they were like, we out, all right, we done, we ain't gonna mess with you no more. So I don't know, man. I really don't know. Like, I was thinking it was him, but like apparently it ain't. You know what I'm saying? And we just got to figure out or wait to see how this plays when it comes to Swamp Thing, when it comes to Alec, when it comes to the memory of, when it comes to Lucilia, when it comes to Avery, any of them. Like, how far will the bugs go? Will they return? Will this kind of reanimation keep on going? But in addition to that, I did want to talk about the sheriff outside of Avery. We have an issue with the sheriff where she's too close to Avery. Do you think that she will protect Avery when all this comes out of the wash? Do you think that she will be the one that kind of has his back and no matter what kind of protects him if she can legally? Because that's something that is on my mind concerning that. But with that said, I want to break for a second, pause for the cause, give a shout out, of course, to Thought Crimes, give a shout out to Arcatron, who is doing the show with me on Wednesday nights, Beast Vibes Life, and also give a shout out to Tim I, who is another Patreon supporter who shows mad love. But moving on, we got what I really enjoyed, which was the main showdown. The main showdown where you got the bugs, the reanimated corpse comes in, Abby's in trouble, and then Swamp Thing's like, yo, what up? And the thing that I like about this show is that you really, you really get an opportunity to enjoy Swamp Thing. This is not a situation where they're trying to hide him. It's not a situation where they're trying to like, oh, well, you'll see Swamp Thing at the end of the episode or at the end of the season. Like, they're giving us copious amounts of Swamp Thing. Man, I mean, when they say he speaks, he did speak. We got a good conversation. Abby figured out who he is. She doesn't know why anything's going on, but she knows who he is. And we'll talk about Abby in a second once we wrap this. But now we know that she knows, and we just have to figure out along with her how she's going to handle this, how she's going to wrap her mind around this. Because when she was talking about the disease or the germs or whatever, he said it's fighting back, and that helped her a lot when she went back to the hospital. Help out the patients and all that. And we'll see where this takes them, but I like where we're going now, where we're not dragging out this situation where she doesn't know who or what it is. I like the fact that we've gotten straight to the point on a lot of stuff in this show. While allowing the characters to be the characters, to actually seemingly act normal, due to this situation, act normal. But speaking of acting normal, I did want to the Megan Young show. What up? I can't wait to find out what happened to Shauna. Yeah, Shauna, we don't. It must not be good because apparently Abby had to leave town, join CDC and all that stuff. Feels like basically she could never come back. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what happened to her, but her dose doesn't seem like her body was mangled or anything. So maybe it wasn't a violent death. But then, due to the visions that we got from Madame Xanadu, I'm thinking maybe her death was, you know what I'm saying? Maybe her death was in fact violent in some type of way. Maybe there was a betrayal involved. I don't know, but Abby seems extremely guilty about it. But something tells me when it comes out the wash, it'll be like some kind of misunderstanding that Abby didn't really do anything. Hopefully, but we never know. I mean, it would be pretty cool to show that Abby has the dark side or had a dark side and changed since then. So, you know, never know. But big shout out to the Megan Young Show. Thank you for rolling through. Thank you. Speaking of Abby, I want to talk about Woodrow and her back and forth in the I guess the morgue or the, you know, where they put dead people at, right? And where they do the autopsies and stuff. I think it's the morgue, but whatever it is where dead people at. And I was kind of mad at Woodrow coming. Look, the silly fat, aka Woodrow, coming talking about something. Oh, I'm just trying to test your knowledge, or he was basically trying to see how. Yo, I'm from the CDC. Like, Abby should have been like, bruh, I'm a doctor. Well, I mean, she had to say that. But then she was like, yo, look, I work at the CDC. Like, I am the top CDC person here. Yo. Why do you think I'm the top? Do you think I'm the top for fun? And you're like, what do you see? Well, I see a dead person with my eyes all in their body. That's what I see. What you see? But I like how we're framing this and allowing her to be like, no, look. Don't come in here trying to feed me. Like, yo, I'm a CDC, all right, and I'm a doctor. I'm top head of the doctors. And I know so I'm okay. Maybe that's what you can't throw in your resume, but bottom line is, look, don't try to come and act funny. Now, real quick, they're coming for me, so we're going to have to wait until they get through. Hold on. And one more today. All right, cool. Now they're going. We fine. We ain't getting cut off. First, I thought it was coming from me. It was probably looking for someone else. So it's hard to get. With that said, how do you think Woodrow plays out? Because I see them trying to give him a little bit of sympathy. You know, his wife, she got Alzheimer's, she's taking the pills. And he's like, I'm gonna find a cure for you, baby. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you gonna find a cure when you messing around with plants. All right. Well, okay. Hold on. Let me take it back. The plants are just a crucial part of healing us healing ourselves. The nutrients, the life that the plant and earth gives is vital to our survival as a human race. Yes, but I'm talking about his crazy stuff. All right, his crazy stuff, trying to accelerate swamp stuff and whatever he's doing, it ain't gonna help nobody mind. She gonna be forgetting him by the end of this season. She ain't gonna know who he is. She gonna be looking at you like you just some dude walk through the house. All right, and plus he's psycho. All right, you can see he's psycho. He loved holding that little, it was a liver or something, or a heart, whatever it was. He was loving holding that way too much. All right, too much for a regular person. Like a doctor would be like, all right, you know, here's some gizzards. I don't know. All right, this for animals. Here's like a liver and a pancreas, and they handle it with care. But all having a conversation with it, just holding it like this. It's like, yo, I'm kicking it. So, do you think that him and Abby will have an issue physically? And what I mean by physically is him trying to either hurt her or straight take her out, because whatever research that she's doing or getting from Alex's old not warehouse, old lab, is probably going to infringe on what he's trying to do with Avery. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't trust him. I don't trust him. All I'm saying is, look, you better shoot first, Abby, because you don't never know. Woodrow, he looked crazy, and he act crazy. What else you need? That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, ring the alarm on that dude. But with that said, I love the Harlan part. I thought it was kind of weird that dude was just sitting in the chair, but I love the part with Harlan. The fighting back with the disease. I love that we're skirting the line between science and the supernatural in this show. I think it's serving the show well, and they're doing a very good job with it. Big shout out to the Megan Young Show. I'm assuming your name is Megan. I'm going to say Megan, hopefully. I'm not trying to screw your name. But big shout out to Megan. She says, there's something wrong with your stream. You sound robotic. I checked to see if my end, but it's not. Again, man, really? YouTube, you gonna do that to me again with the robot? Man, YouTube stay tripping. Man, I see. In this case, since YouTube tripping, if you can hear any of this, I'll just say this. Episode was dope. I'm excited for tomorrow. Really want to see how it goes down. And since the roboticness is happening, YouTube just be tripping on me, man. Yesterday's live stream was cool, and now today they're tripping. With that said, guys, thank you for hanging with me for a small amount of time to talk some swamp thing. We'll be back next week to talk some more. With that said, thank you.